What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another week, another episode of 30 NSG. On today's show, oh, my camera's messed up. Give me a second. There we go. What is going on, everybody? Back from vacation. We're back. We're not going on another vacation anytime soon. We are back from an exhausting trip. I just drove 28 hours straight from... and I'll go into why we drove 28 hours straight. And that is not a joke. That is 100% the truth. I was in a car yesterday driving from Minneapolis, Minnesota, all the way to my home last night. So that's what I did for the last day and a little bit. We were driving across the country because of the thing that happened on Friday with the CrowdStrike computers malfunctioning and the world going to chaos for just a blip on a radar. And we'll go into that. Yeah, it sounds fun, doesn't it, Water? How's everyone doing? What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Dustin? What's going on, Lurker? Eclipse, Dolphin. Good morning, good morning. What did I miss? Dolphin, Eclipse, Water, Kylo, what's going on? So, I don't know much that's going on. Morning, Jojo. I don't know much going on in the gaming. I try to stay up with the news, but I was on vacation. I went from vacationing in South Dakota, got to see some beautiful things with Crazy Horse and also Mount Rushmore, if you've never been. Really cool. Learning about stuff, finding out the history and things. Very cool. Did some fun things, hung out with family, and then I had the nightmare of travel. Going there and coming back. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about some gaming news. I got some stories. Talk about Counter-Strike. Talking about Meta's new plan to make Quest 3 the best value in VR, which I think it already is. We're going to talk about the Division 2. We're going to talk about Xbox teases another Game Pass announcement coming soon. Maybe they already did it. I don't even know. We're going to talk about Xbox and Game Pass to go mainstream. Perhaps great games won't be enough, from an article from Windows Central from Jez Corden. And we'll talk about Ubisoft has put more money into marketing Star Wars Outlaws than any other game. So we'll talk about that as well. How is everyone doing? You guys still playing the First Descendant? I didn't play much. I didn't play much while I was gone. What's going on, Ward? Also, on top of this, right now, starting Friday, I have, I guess, a cavity or some sort of thing, right? So I have some numbing on my face right now because the pain is so extreme. So, yeah, it's been great for me the last 72 hours. I just stay awake for 28 hours. Well, magically, I was with family. So, my wife drove for 6, maybe 7 hours of the 28, and I drove the rest. And yeah, that's how it works. So I slept, and then she drove a little bit, and then I drove the 2 big chunks because my wife doesn't like to drive, and my 9-year-old's not old enough to drive. Political news alone in the U.S. has been insane. I won't. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that, Dolphin. But from the last time I was live to now, a lot of shit's happened. A lot of shit has happened. Come on, Brain. Already a Mastery 16 in the First Descendant, so I'm kind of addicted. I'm 11 or 12, but I haven't played in like 10 days, so. Ron Slusher says, Redfall is still dead. Okay. Will it come back to life? I don't think so, Ron. Brainchild says, I'm only Mastery 13, but NCAA has taken up a lot of my time. Oh, that's right. That came out on Friday, didn't it? It came out on Friday. How's that going? Is that game good? I know a lot of people were excited about NCAA. Been gone for so many years. Is it just Madden with college? or did they make updates where it's much better? And then No Man's Sky also came out with an update while we were gone. Like, Sean Murray does it again. Another massive update for No Man's Sky. Once you get to 12 or 13, it takes a while to go up. Travis says, according to Sadat, Suicide Squad is saved by Mrs. Free's gameplay. I think he's played the role of the guy who still has hope. I did see his thing. It does look cool, and I don't mean that in a dad joke type of way. The traversal for Karen Freeze looks fantastic. But is that going to bring people back to the game to play? Probably not. Waterbear says, I bought it. It's fun to play one game so far in the NCAA. Went back to the first Descendant. Brainchild says, not bad. All figuring out was mechanics, and they forward after about a 10-year hiatus. Ron says, I finally bought Suicide Squad, and I'm enjoying it. Did you buy it, or did you download it from Amazon? It was free for Amazon Prime. Come on, Robert Jones. All right, so let me tell you about the misery of traveling, right? Rule number one, I used to travel all the time, and my rule number one for travel is never, ever, ever, ever get a connecting flight. You always want straight to, right? Obviously, sometimes it costs more or whatnot, but never, ever get a connecting flight. You always want to get a direct flight wherever you're going. Obviously, sometimes you can't help it, but we got a connecting flight on the way there. So we had to travel from Orlando, Florida to Denver. Okay. And in Denver, our plane was we had an hour and a half layover in Denver. And when we got there, our plane didn't have AC. Okay. So they're like, oh, we're going to put a new AC unit on it. And it's just delayed 30 minutes. We're like, all right, cool. Then it went from being delayed to canceling that flight. And then now taking 160 people. And then we had to go from Denver to South Dakota. Okay. So they took 160 people and they started divoting them across other flights to get people across the thing. So we had to switch from gate 47. And if those of you that have never been to Denver Airport, it's gigantic. Okay. Just in Terminal B that we were in has 95 gates. Okay. 95 gates. So we started at 47, then we went to 95. Then we went from 95, we couldn't get on that flight. Then we went to 88, and we couldn't get on that flight, and then we had to go to 17. Then we went to 17, then we went back to 48, not 47, okay? Or 47, I forget which one it was. Then we had to move over to, was it 33, and then we came back to 51. Okay, then we finally got on a flight 13 hours later. 13 hours later, we finally made it into South Dakota. Had a wonderful time. Okay, had a wonderful time in South Dakota. Got to see Crazy Horse. Those of you that don't know what Crazy Horse is, it's a project that is privately funded by these. They started in 1948. And basically, it's like Mount Rushmore, right? But they're making Crazy Horse, okay, the battle, the last stand of Custard and stuff like that. And they started in 1948, and I got to see this thing, and they only made the face and the arm, right? Let me see if I can. Let me bring up so you guys know what the hell I'm talking about here. Okay, these are not my pictures, but let me show you what it is. Okay. All right, so like Crazy Horse is literally a mountain, okay, that they're carving a giant, basically they're carving this thing, okay, they're carving this thing into a mountain, okay, so you get to see the mountain, okay, you get to see the mountain, and that's what you're looking at, okay, so I got to see this in real life, and it's really cool, until I figured out that we thought they started building it maybe 5 years ago, right? No, they've been building this thing since 1948. Okay, 1948, And I was like, while we were here, this is the first thing we saw when we were in South Dakota. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I was like, they're carving out a mountain. They're making it into a guy riding a horse. Okay. Again, this is what it's going to look like. Okay. It's going to look like this. Okay. It's going to look like this, but in a mountain. And I was like, this is insane. I was like, well, how long did Mount Rushmore take? I was like, if this is one Indian on a horse and it's taking them this long, 80 years. 80 years. And they've only gotten like this part. That's it. A hand, and a face. Right? This is it right here. This is all you're seeing. Okay. No, it's not gonna work. Oh, there it is. Okay. That's all you get. 80 years. You got the face, the arm, and the hand. Okay. Mount Rushmore was built in 14 years. 14. I was like, what? Okay. Right? This was built in 14 years. All right. Yeah, Crazy Horse is still being worked on. Privately funded. Government not involved. This got built in 14 years. Government funded. Okay. Okay. 14 years. And this, when you see it in pictures, it doesn't look that impressive. Right? You look at this kind of stuff, you're like, that's cool. And you know in your head, you're like, well, they carved that out of mountain. Okay? And you're like, eh. But when you're there, you're like, Christ, they carved that in a mountain. Okay? Really impressive. It's really impressive. And all this rubble that you see down here is from the explosions from making the faces and whatnot. Right? Really cool. Okay? Come on, Rowick. Thank you. Okay? And it's really cool. Okay? But when you look at Crazy Horse, you're like 80 years to make this. And then this took 14 years. You're like, what the hell are they doing? Now, obviously, the guy who created this, they were supposed to have the full bodies in this mountain. Okay? You can see George Washington's collar and stuff like that. You can see Lincoln's hand where he's like holding on to his jacket like the iconic thing. There's lots of attention to detail and stuff like that. But they had to stop because you see this like gray part here on the mountain. That's mica, and it's very fragile. Okay, so like you could literally go up to it and like tap it with your hand or pull it with your hand, and it would start crumbling. Okay, so there's 3 different types of rock, and they had to stop working on it because they were afraid of the integrity of the remaining stuff. So they didn't want to finish Washington's outfit, right, the body, and then all of a sudden everything else crumbles around. So they stopped after 14 years. One, because the master sculptor, the creator of this, he also passed, and so they just stopped because of also they didn't want to wreck it. So they said that's what it is. So there won't ever be another, as everyone talks about, like a 5th head on the mountain or anything like that, because they're afraid that it will damage what's up there. Pretty cool. There's cracks and stuff inside the faces and stuff, and they will not fill them because it actually it'll harm the mountain more than help. So pretty cool. There is a secret room right between Theodore Roosevelt and Lincoln, which you can no longer go to. It's called the Hall of Records. Okay, I love learning stuff, right? So it's called the Hall of Records, and it's this gigantic room that's built behind them. And you were allowed to go up there up until 2009, but then people ruined it, so we can't have nice things. So no one's ever allowed up there again, which is pretty cool though. That it's up there. So there's a pamphlet that you could talk about it and show. So, but yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. And then we did went to a rodeo. I went to a rodeo, and that was fun. And we did a bunch of stuff. We hung out with family, had barbecues and stuff like that. It was good times. And then Friday happened. Okay, then Friday happened where a security thing happened, or an update. It wasn't terrorists. It was just an update by a company called CrowdStrike that they were doing, and they do a lot of, they have a lot of there's security, right? And they have a lot of Windows, right, where 8.5 million Windows devices was basically bricked. Okay, so if you guys don't know about what happened here on Friday morning, just shortly after midnight on Friday, CrowdStrike did an internal update to their software, and it literally knocked down banks, airlines, a bunch of stuff. Now, I wasn't flying out on Friday. We were flying out on Saturday. Okay, but because of the blip that happened with Counter-Strike software, it literally crippled, like, huge vasts of airlines, United, Delta, American Airlines, banks. People couldn't pull their money out of stuff. It was absolute chaos. It was. Still is. And if one of you guys are traveling in the airport, good luck to you, because you will no longer be leaving on your plane, because those planes are canceled, delayed, moved over. And because this happened, our flight on Saturday got delayed, right? So our flight from South Dakota to our layover in Minneapolis, Minnesota, was delayed. So much so the computers were broke, and our computer screen said that our plane departed. Well, our plane didn't depart. Okay, didn't depart. We were sitting there looking at our plane. Our plane's on the tarmac. We can't get on the plane. And does anyone want to guess why we can't get on the plane? Let me see some of your best guesses why we can't get on the plane. Flip says we've watched Drop Frames yesterday. They had Pirate Software on talking about this, and he had some good information. I'll have to watch that, Eclipse. I'll have to watch that. Come on, Mo. All right. So the reason that we didn't have get on the plane, first question, who were you flying with? Yeah, the plane departed, Kurt. The plane was departed, but we're looking at it on the thing. Nope. It was there. Nope. Brand of gas is a good one, Jax. That's not it. Door control by computer. No, but computers were involved. And also, we had no pilot. We had no pilot. Okay. No pilot. Crying baby. Yeah. No, we had no pilot. I knew something was up because while we got to the airport, okay, there was a long line because the computers were down, so they had to hand write tickets. Hand write tickets. Is this thing on? Yeah, hand write tickets. So when we got to the guy who was giving us our boarding pass, okay, in South Dakota. Now, if you guys have never been to South Dakota, their airport, I can do this and see the entire thing. Okay, South Dakota airport has 6 or 7 gates. Okay, it's not a very big airport. I can stand in the center of the airport, see ticketing, baggage claim, and rent a car, all by just standing there. Okay, so the guy who gave us our ticket or boarding pass, we then go upstairs. He takes our bag. Okay, and then I'm looking out the window. Me and my son are standing there. We're looking out the window, and then all of a sudden we see the guy who did the boarding pass is the guy who was also putting our luggage on the plane. And I went, interesting. I was like, either they're really short-staffed, or this is a really, really tiny airport. So much so, then the woman that was upstairs then announced on the thing, she said, I need 3 volunteers. And we didn't volunteer, by the way. We need 3 volunteers because our flight is booked. There's only 18 rows on this plane that we're taking to Minnesota. I think it was 18 rows. Okay, small plane. Okay, and they overbooked it. And they overbooked it. And on top of that, because of what happened the day before, more people were trying to get on the planes to get out from there because they've already been delayed. Right? been 24 hours and stuff. Okay. Then they close the door and they say it's on time, and we're looking and we're like, it's got 10 minutes before boarding, before it leaves. And then we're standing there, 10 minutes passes, and then the screen says departed. And my wife's like, what do you mean departed? And we look out the window and the plane's still there. And then about 20 minutes after that, a pilot shows up. And I overhear him saying that he just got in from Atlanta. Okay? And that he was volunteering. Listen carefully. He was volunteering to pilot our plane to get us where we're going because they have no pilots. Okay? Okay? They don't have pilots to pilot the planes right now. For whatever reason, I have no idea, which is nothing against the software that happened. There's not enough pilots flying the planes. Okay? So, we get on this plane. Okay? And my wife has the phone, and it gives her updates and stuff. And while we're on the tarmac waiting to leave, all of a sudden, my wife goes, our next flight's canceled. And I just sat down. I just got on the plane. I'm like, fuck. We're going to have to drive. Okay. So we get there. We fly. We land. My wife pays for the internet on the plane so she can book our next flight or whatever. But now it's pandemonium. We get to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and everyone's flights are canceled. Our next flight is not until tomorrow. Tomorrow. Not today. Not Monday. Tuesday. Okay, this is Saturday. We land in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they say our next flight that we can take is on Tuesday. And we're like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So, and on top of that, the next flight we could get on Tuesday is 2 stops. So I have no idea where we're going, but it's like getting on a bus now. Okay. So now we're on the airplane traveling to Minneapolis, Minnesota. My wife is trying to find airlines and stuff to when we land to move. And when we get there, we don't know where our bag is now because our bag is going to a plane that is canceled. Okay. And we don't know where our luggage is. So then we find out our luggage is now put on the next plane, whatever plane it is, that's coming to Orlando, and they throw it on there. They take it. But because the computer systems are down, nobody knows where our bag is. Oh, and I missed one little thing. The woman that was putting us on our plane in South Dakota, because the systems didn't work, she was handwriting our names and our seat numbers and then radioing to the woman that's on the plane so she can make a manifest of the people where they're sitting. And the only reason she knew that is because she looked at our tickets to find out where when I tell you it's a cluster fuck of a problem, it's a clusterfuck. So if you're traveling in the next couple days, get ready. Okay. So we land in Minneapolis. We get out of the thing. We get to our flight. Canceled. We don't know where our bags are because they just put them on another thing. Computer systems are down. Everyone in the airport is been stuck there from Friday. The people that were stuck are now trying to get put on planes, and the people that were on planes are now getting delayed because they can't get on those planes because they're taking other people and putting them on those planes, and then they're being pushed back. There's no pilots. There's no understaffed of actual flight attendants. Very awesome time to fly. So we decide to drive. So we rented the last car from a company I've never even heard of before called Sixt. It's SIXT. Rent-a-car place. This is at 5 o'clock. We left at 5:30. 5 o'clock on Saturday p.m. Okay, we rent the car. It was a Chevy Tahoe. Let me tell you, nice car. Okay, and we got in that car. We got on the road at 5:30, and I got back last night at 10 o'clock at the airport. The funny part is I had to go to the airport because I had to drop the car off at the airport. So my parents that were supposed to pick us up at the airport on Saturday now picked us up at the airport last night at 10 o'clock in the evening because I had to drop off the rent-a-car. So we had a cannonball run from Minneapolis, Minnesota I had to drive across Wisconsin, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, and then Florida. And got here last night, got into my house at like 10:30, passed out, and here I am today, exhausted, in pain, and I'm ready to do a show. So that was my vacation. So all the stress that I had before, relaxing, enjoying Mount Rushmore, enjoying Crazy Horse, enjoying barbecue and burgers, and seeing the bison on the plains, gone. Because I sat in a car for 28 hours. So that was my vacation. Sounds like a bad sitcom. Did you sign up? Tell anyone up 30? No. You have to get home by riding it back. U-Haul truck with the polka band. Roic, that would have been fantastic. We were literally trying to help other people. There was other people going to Orlando, and we're like, hey, you want to split the car? Pictures or it didn't happen. Okay. You want pictures of my receipt of the rent-a-car that we had and how much it costs? The bison, they're about the same size as cows. Now the male buffalo are quite big. The male buffaloes are quite big. I don't have a way to share this with you guys. Let me see. Right, they're quite big. Those are females running across. Let me see if I have a picture of the. Let me see if I have a picture. Oh, we went into a cave. I went 250 feet below, and I'm kind of claustrophobic. That was cool. Here's me in a cave. I'm in a cave 250 feet below the earth. Where is... Yeah, the buffalo are pretty... We're in the area where the buffalo are, and they're crossing the road. There had to be about 1,200 of them. About 1,200 buffalo. Really cool to see this in. Oh yeah, bison's good. Bison's good. So good times had in South Dakota, but travel, man. Travel was. I'm exhausted. My head hurts because of the pressure difference from South Dakota. I'm a Florida guy. We're like 13 feet above sea level. Jax with a $2 super chat says, "Sucks you had to go through that on vacation." Yeah, you got to do what you do. You know who really was a champ? My 9-year-old son. He, on the way to South Dakota, he just wanted to see his cousin, and we were 13 hours stuck in the airport. And then on the way back, I told him that we're driving. And he just looked at me and said, okay. He's like, I just want to get back to my dog and my bed. And I went. And he was in the car, and he never once bitched about being in the car for 28 hours. We had a nice big Tahoe, so there was like 3 rows. He went to the back of the car. He put headphones on. He was watching movie after movie on his iPad. And he absolutely... was a champ, man. Didn't say anything. Got home yesterday. He's sleeping right now. He's still sleeping. 28 hours. Yeah, we had some bison burgers at Mount Rushmore. Pretty good. Then we had bison. I had a ribeye. I had a ribeye. So good. So good. It probably was rough on him, Brain, but he hasn't said anything. Maybe we've scarred him for life. Maybe he doesn't ever want to fly again. I have no idea. Like, he hated it, but he was so excited to just get home. Elk is good. Yeah, Elk is very good. So let's read, those of you that didn't know about what CrowdStrike is. CrowdStrike's faulty update crashed 8.5 million Windows devices, says Microsoft. A global IT outage on Friday resulted from a sensor configuration update to Counter-Strike's Falcon platform that caused Windows logic error. Okay. CrowdStrike's faulty update caused a worldwide tech disaster that affected 8.5 million Windows devices on Friday. According to Microsoft says less than 1% of all Windows machines, but it was enough to create problems for retailers, banks, airlines, and many other industries, as well as everyone who relies on them. Okay, think about that. They said it only affected 1%, which crippled the airline industry. Imagine that. Imagine that. It affected 1%, and it literally has ripple effects 3 days later, 4 days later. People are still... one guy, as I just remembered, as we were waiting for our, talking to people, we had to wait in line 3 to 4 hours to see what we could do with our luggage. Okay. One guy said that they were on, they got on the plane, they closed the doors, they sat there for 30 minutes, and then they came on the thing and said, we have to empty the plane out because we have no pilot, right? To think that they put people on an airplane, put them on the runway to trick them, thinking they had a pilot is insane to me. Anyway, okay, that didn't happen to me. That was happened to other people that were talking when we were talking, because misery loves company, right? So people were complaining and telling their stories to us while we were waiting and so on. So it says separately, a technical breakdown from CrowdStrike released Friday explains more about what happened and why so many systems were affected all at once. CrowdStrike's breakdown explains the configuration file that was at the heart of the issue. He says the configuration files mentioned above refer to channel files. They are part of the behavioral protection mechanisms used by Falcon's sensor, and updates to the channel files are a normal part of the sensor operation that occurred several times a day in response to the novel tactics technicians and producers discovers by CrowdStrike. This is not a new process, but the architecture has been placed since Falcon's inception. Okay, so CrowdStrike explained that the file is not a kernel drive, but it's also responsible for how Falcon evaluates name pipe 1 execution on Windows systems. Security research and Objective-C's founder Patrick Warrell say that the explanation aligned with the earlier analysts the other provide about how the cause of the crash as a problem of the C quadruple 291 triggered a logic error that resulted in OS crash. Right, so basically, anything that got affected by this was like a blue screen of death, and the only way they could fix this was manually resetting each of the systems themselves. Okay, but they didn't know this right away. So other experts of CrowdStrike blog explain more about what went wrong. It says on July 19th, as part of the ongoing operations, CrowdStrike released a sensor configuration update in Windows systems, and sensor configuration updates are an ongoing part of the protection mechanisms of Falcon platform, and the configuration update triggered a logic error resulting in the system crash and blue screen on impacted systems. And which systems were affected, and systems running the Falcon sensor on Windows 7.11 and above downloaded the update configuration and were essentially to system crash. So CrowdStrike channel filed updates were pushed to computers regardless of any settings meant to prevent such automatic updates, noted. Okay, so there you go. All of this and all of the shit that I had to do and drive 28 hours because some dickhead forgot to carry the 1 in his file system and bricked all the systems, and thousands and thousands of family members, or families, not family members, families are stuck at airports across the country and across the world because of an automatic update that bricked the systems. Fantastic. right? Amazing. Mo says 7 days, 10 hours. And I'm still hooked, Mike. I'm addicted. The first Descendant is so good. Working on Descendant number 8. I haven't played it all the last week. When I got off from the podcast on Thursday, a week from last Thursday, I haven't touched First Descendant. So we're gonna probably jump in tonight and play a little bit. Star says, did you watch the CEO of CrowdStrike have a heart attack live on TV during an interview? It was quite amusing. Yeah, I did see that, Sarge. D says, my first thought was the bonus for Microsoft to get people to take their Defender product instead of CrowdStrike. Yeah. Oh, it might be. I don't know how many people were affected, but I know from visually seeing with my own eyes in multiple airports that I was in, Altern, tens of thousands of people. Like everyone at the airport. Oh, here's the best thing. Luggage is just screwed. The luggage is screwed. Okay? There's people waiting in line for 3 hours so they can tell them that it'll take them 8 to 10 hours to get their luggage. Okay? There's people that were waiting in the airport for 2 straight days to get information because they're trying to travel to Europe or getting connected flights somewhere else. It is a clusterfuck of problems that are happening right now in the airports. Like, employees are quitting because of the stress. All because of 1% of people who are affected. Or systems affected. Absolutely crazy. See what happens, 30, when you go on vacation? Not allowed to leave anymore. Well, we don't have another vacation planned until next year, so we're good, Z. I've been periodically getting blue screens at work computer after updating to Windows 11. Been happening for weeks. It's an automatic update, Water. Automatic update. Well, Travis, what was funny, my wife learned a valuable lesson because we travel really light, right? And I had to put my stuff in a separate carry-on because it weighs too much with me, my son, and my wife in one bag. So my wife and my son had their stuff in one bag, which was lost. Okay. And I have my carry-on. So my wife and my son had no clothes, no nothing. So we had to rent the car. We had to go to Target and get them clothes and stuff. So we're now in the process of trying to get a reimbursement from the airlines for the rent-a-car, from the stuff that we had to buy, for the gas that we had to spend because of all the stuff. And we already know that there's a problem because it wasn't their fault. So they don't what's it called? They're not going to help us. So now we have to fight it because of what happened with the security. Oh, hospitals are affected? Yeah, it's crazy. Banking systems. Yeah, Kylo, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm exhausted from driving, but you know, it is what it is. The thumbnail says it all. Like, I'm like, because I don't know what to talk about. I have a couple stories that we had when we were gone. I know Division 2 is making some changes, which we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I said that they'll probably go back on it if they're smart, and it looks like the revolting of the player base did something. We'll see what happens. I'll read this in just a second. Yeah, Kurt, right? And that's only 1% was affected. Can you imagine if 2%? Like, it's insane. Travis, you have no idea. When we walked up, this is how crazy it was. When we got on the plane in South Dakota, the woman stood in front of us, and instead of saying group 1, group 2, group 3, right? We were on American Airlines. She stood up, and this is what you not do when you work at any kind of place where you're talking to normal people. She stood up and said, "We have a situation." And I was like, verbally out loud, I went, "Oh, Lord," right? I was like, that's not how you do it. She said, "We have a situation." I was like, "You don't say we have a situation." Okay, and I whispered to my wife, "That's not what you say." And she goes, "Everyone just line up. Doesn't matter what group you're in." I'm like, what kind of craziness is this? It took 45 minutes to get the people on the plane, okay? And they did this 10 minutes after the plane said departed, okay? And when we got up there with our tickets, she had a piece of paper, she had receipt paper that she just pulled out of the thing and sat there, and she looked at our tickets and said the name and what seat we were in, and she just wrote it in order. So her piece of paper made no sense because the first person could have been 1A and the second person could have been 32B, okay? Whatever it was. And she just went down the list. I'm like, this is insane. And then she would radio into the person that was on the plane, and then they would make what the seating chart was, because you have to have a manifest. It was insane. I was like, what is happening? JW with the 11 months. Thank you so much for the continued support. Yeah, everything's fine now. Everything's fine now, JW. You never stand in front of a group of people and say, "We've got a situation." Like, shut your mouth. No, she was I want to say she's got to be in her late 30s, early 40s. It was fucking chaos. Fucking chaos. But that's behind us. And now we're ready for some gaming news and talking about stuff. So let's talk about gaming news. All right, so a couple weeks ago, we talked about the Division 2 delete, that they were trying to do what Diablo did with the seasonal characters. Both me and Sarge on the podcast were like, fuck it, we're done. We're not playing Division 2 anymore. I'm not playing a game where I have a 5-year character that I can't use, and it makes no sense to do this. So the Division 2 deletes Diablo 4 seasonal characters. Idea after player revolt. Now, this article comes from Forbes, from Paul Tassi, a couple days ago, I guess, July 15th, so about a week ago. Okay. It says, back when Diablo 4 came out, I got a lot of flack for Diablo vets for saying I wish the Eternal Realm characters could participate in seasons in some capacity rather than being left behind. That's not how it all works, everyone said, and this is why I have some of the round that now introducing the concept of the game that didn't have it for years is a problem. Enter the Division 2. A month ago, Ubisoft announced that the future seasons of Division 2 would switch the seasonal character model, meaning that you start fresh, level up, gear up, participate in season-specific activities. In the history of the Division 1 and 2 has never been anything like this, and it did not sound great. It's also being walked back. Okay, so Ubisoft absorbed the immediate pushback and tried to write a long FAQ addressing the concerns, which included explanations like, the main idea behind Season 2 is to break away from the current repetitive seasonal model by transforming the entire experience with the main characters, and we need to consider variation progression in the power levels, making it nearly impossible to create a well-balanced experience. That is enjoyable for all. Starting to all players at level 1 ensures thus that we have a clear understanding of where the progression journey when they face a specific challenge, and also put it simply, order to craft challenges with precision we need at a fresh start. Okay. Goes on to say, they said progression will sped up and your main character will also be able to join in the last 2 weeks in the given season to farm things. You do also do not have a complete entire campaign again. My favorite question posed for themselves at the frequently asked questions is, what's the point of keeping your main character if you can't use them for 90% of the future content coming to the game? And the answer to that was both types of characters will have meaningful roles, with the main character still giving ultimate priority, which obviously me and Sarge talked about this, and it was not. He says, but after a month, no one was biting it. Okay. He says the idea of scrapping altogether, they also did apology/game delay style text image on Twitter and relayed the message. Okay. So this is what the message said on Twitter. So let's read this. Okay. It says, agents, we hear you, and we want to assure you that you have carefully considered your feedback after the announcement of Season 2.0. Okay. After a thorough examination of the discussion with the team, we've decided to reevaluate Season 2.0 with the particular attention to seasonal characters, with the goal of progressing without them. This change will not impact the previously announced Year 6 plans, but it also will require us to assess the changes necessary to the new seasonal experience, which will also be integrated in Year 6 Season 2 this fall. Once we have the ironed out and the final details, or the finer details, we'll return with more information of the live stream of PTS. Thank you for making your voice heard. Well, let me tell you something. This is not just an off and on switch. They literally tainted the waters. Just like Sony, at least in my opinion, okay? Just like Sony tainted the water with Helldivers trying to make you sign up for something, the motivation of that player base is gone. The motivation of this, as a player myself of Division 2 for the last 5 years, putting that time into the actual thing, okay? They just said that they're going to shit on me, and they don't care. And they were going to move along with this, and they already had things planned out for the future. Well, now they're going back on what they wanted to do. Well, this changed the fundamental thing of the game that they're trying to make. So the thing that comes out later this year that was supposed to be 2.0 is now completely changed, because now it was based around seasonal content, based around you making a new character, and now that means they're going to fundamentally have to change something if you're using your main character in that seasonal content, right? But we'll see when this, we'll cross that bridge when we get here, right? So it says, with no doubt delay plans or original reasons for doing this, what were they saying? The game has become impossible to balance and was difficult to keep progression alive, but they're going to try to do it somehow. Now, what Paul's saying there is exactly what I just said, okay? So they said they're going to do something, and now they're going to change it, but they said they couldn't do it. This is why they were changing it, but now they're not changing it. So what's going to happen then? Okay? So it's pretty clear what the problem is here, and you just can't change the established system like this on a dime. Division 2 players have likely been using their same state of character since 2019. Ding, ding. That's me. Okay? And Division 2 player, it says when the game was released, though thick and thin, through substantial seasons, sparse ones. This is also far different than Diablo, which had eons of seasonal character systems in place for Diablo 3. So no one was shocked when they still placed that in Diablo 4 with a few changes. Okay? Even with the explanation from Division, with the main characters would still be able to make some progression, it's pretty easy to understand why players rebelled against the idea. But I'm certainly wondering how exactly this alters its plans. They don't know. We don't know. And regardless on what change they make for Season 2.0, like I said, they've tainted the waters. Okay? So me as a player that periodically came back for the last 5 years, played my character, I'm level 700 and whatever, okay? Sarge got a character like 2,000. Other people have 23,000, okay? They're now fundamentally changing the game and not going forward with the plans that they wanted to do, which then fundamentally changes their plans yet again, which means they don't know what they're doing. They have no plan on what they're doing, and even when they have a plan for what they're doing, it's going to subjectively change the game for what it is, and I'm no longer interested in this game. And they've now killed the game for me as a character, or as a player that came back every year for 5 years. I'm not interested anymore. Even with these changes, I think this is still dead to me. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think of the Division 2 going back on the word that they said they were changing for seasonal characters and your main character? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. And if you like what I do here, please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. So What do you think, chat? What do you think about all this with Division now going back on their word of what they were changed? 5 years, 5 years of doing what they did, and they said we don't care. You have to make a new character every season, and then they're like, whoa, wait, the player base doesn't like that. Like they were shocked. They're like, oh, I can't believe it. I don't understand why they're revolting. Altern says erasing people's progress to start up is not new content. Making them to go back and do whatever they already is not new content at all. I still enjoy Division 2. Hope they don't crush the player base. Oh, I think it's done, Kurt. Even them going back, I think has done the damage already. Travis says 30 and Sarge, of course you know what this means, right? Division 3 will be the season base, and they see that now, and there's not from the start. Right, Travis. We know that Division 3 will have this implementation from the start. 1,000%. YouTube Lurker with the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you very much, Lurker. Appreciate the support, man. D says, again, the power is that they screwed up the identity of what the company is so bad that the devs don't know how to make a game. Right, Z. They've lost the identity, and now they're chasing the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. We all know there's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Sarge says, tainted to the water. No, bro. They pissed directly into the Cheerios at the breakfast while the spoon is still in my hand. Dolphin says, don't worry, 30. They're making the Division mobile game. No, didn't that get canceled, Dolphin? Didn't they cancel that? They canceled the Heartland, right? And there was another one. At this point, Roic says, just end it and work on Division 3. Well, I think they are, but I think Travis makes a good point. I think they're just going to change it, right? They're just going to change what the fundamental of the Division is and make it like Diablo. Travis needs a badge so strangers know he's one of us. Robert Jones says, shouldn't this have been a good thing for you, 30? They announced the change and players didn't like they changed it. Why quit? I answered the question, Jones. The new content that's coming out is based on new character, right? The fundamental aspect of it, of starting over with a new character with the new season, they're just getting rid of that. You don't have to make a new character, but the systems that they put in place are meant for people that are making new characters. So the fundamental aspect of the game completely changes. You understand? Like the foundation of what they're building was meant for new characters every season. Now they're just taking you don't need a new character every season, but the foundation that they built it on is for that reason. So it's not what Division is anymore. Altern says they need to think better way to bring the seasons other than killing the target, saving a random target. I heard there's a pot of gold at the end of 30's Rainbow. There's no pot of gold. We actually have a picture of a rainbow ending on our property, and we walked up to it. There's no gold. There ain't shit there. I think seasonal characters are a good thing for Division. Gives more folks the opportunity to jump in equal power base, Dark Zone, etc. But East, you know that the Dark Zone in Division 2 is terrible, right? First of all, they changed the Dark Zone for what it was in the original thing. 90% of the population that plays Division 2 doesn't go in the Dark Zone. For the small group of people that are going to the Dark Zone, sure, right? But fundamentally changing the seasonal character, when seasonal characters weren't a thing, from Division 1 or Division 2, and then forcing people to do it. Again, I said when we talked about it, I said it should be an opt-in thing, not a mandatory thing. Plus, the reality is they're going thanks for all your support. We drained you dry for some of the new people. It's just scummy. Come on, Mr. Luke. Luke, are you still playing? Are you still playing Fallout 76 at all? Dark Zone doesn't have players. It has 2 guys just waiting for to violate you. Yeah, exactly right. Dark Zone isn't terrible if it's similar power level. I agree with you, but that's not what the game is. You see what I'm saying? Just like in an example of what they did to Helldivers. Helldivers didn't make you sign in, but now 3 months in, all of a sudden they're telling you that you have to sign up or you can't play the game. What Travis set up above, if Division 3 comes out and they implement what they want to do for Division 2, cool. That's from the start, not 5 years in. You're changing fundamentally what the game is. Technically 5 years into Division 2, but 10 years into the Division series, and all of a sudden you're trying to make it like Diablo, and that's not what it was. Correct, Jones. And look, obviously I'll see what the update is, and we'll try it, and I'll give you my opinions on it, okay? But them coming out saying that they're going to change it, and then backtrack that they say they're not changing it, but they're still going forward with that stuff is not going to work with the characters that we have. It was built upon building new characters. So we'll see how it works out when they launch it. Altern says the Dark Zone is just an unbalanced shit show. You get desynced, lagged, or people cheating. It's a mess. It almost looks like the airport, doesn't it? Altern that I just gave you? Just chaos. Luke says, I've not touched it since the update. Fell off gaming for who knows why. There's probably a couple different reasons why. I'm still playing. I still have to make my way through the actual story. Well, probably maybe I should play that instead of the First Descendant, because I don't know where I'm at with First Descendant. I completed the story of the First Descendant after the show on Thursday, the last podcast we had. That Friday or Saturday I beat it, like the story, and then I kind of just put it down. I haven't played it since, but I got to figure out what I want to do or what to go for next inside the First Descendant. But I think I might go back and play and finish the story for Fallout 76 new content. I don't want to hear the Division players saying that the devs never try anything new. Just saying. I think they're allowed to say that, Vandal, because of what the game is. They can try something new without fundamentally changing what Division 2 is. Division 2 is not Diablo. Okay? Like, to make a new character every season, that's not what those people play the game for. Okay? They want different things instead of go kill baddie. Oh, next season, here's a new baddie. But you're not killing the guy. Now you have to go find this person. But you still have to kill this guy, but that's not the main objective now. Now you have to kill him to get information to find out where the person's being held. It's the same stuff. They want fundamentally different things for what Division is, or Division 2 is. Making Division 2 into Diablo 3 is not changing for the better, because you're shitting on over the player base that's been playing your game for the last 5 years. There's a difference between adding something to make the game better and then changing the complete game for what the fundamentally is. Can you show the Karen Freeze gameplay later? Yeah, is there gameplay? I saw a clip of it, but I don't know if it's the actual official gameplay and stuff like that. If you have it, Dolphin, put it in our Discord and I'll bring it up. All I see is a win for players. For Division switching to seasonal characters. Okay. If people wanted seasonal characters in Division, wouldn't they go play a game that has seasonal characters? I haven't done the Hangman fight yet, Mo. I might play a little multiverses, Jack Samurai coming to the game. If they haven't changed where I know they made a couple of changes. I don't know what the changes are yet for multiverses. If they have better XP levels, I might go back and play it, but I stopped playing that completely as well. No, it's good, Jones, that they are going back to not force me to get a new character each season. Again, the problem is not that now. The problem is that the new content they were working on was based solely off the character that you make a new character every season now. Well, if the new season is still based off of, now you're not making a new character, but the thing that you're doing in that fundamentally changes, then it doesn't work with the character that you already have. You understand? They said they didn't know what to do and that the characters were too easy. And they wanted to make the even playing field. Well, great. Now you're getting rid of the seasonal character and you're letting me use my character. How does that fundamentally break what they've done now with the game going forward? That's what I'm asking. That's my problem. That's what Paul Tassi was asking. How they said they couldn't fundamentally do it. Then now they're going back, but they said they're still doing what they're doing, but they're just getting rid of the seasonal character. How is that going to change the game fundamentally now? I mean, okay, enjoy the Division's small Dragnet player base because I was excited for the change and the chance to have a similar power level as the veterans. Right, but you're again, selfish. You're thinking for yourself, like selfishly about the Dark Zone, right? And I totally get that. But that's not what the game has been. Right? The Dark Zone was dead in this game when they first announced what they were making the changes to the Dark Zone from the original Division. Okay? And the player base that played it for the last 5 years with the Dark Zone as is, it's a very small minute of people that play the Dark Zone. And now they're going back and changing what people were enjoying, which was the PvE content, and fundamentally changing that completely. Okay? Getting close to 200 hours of the First Descendant. Nice. They shouldn't have ever tried it, period, 30. Like, why would you go here's the idea is exactly what the people hate about the other games, and they get rid of it. What made us, right? And I'm just interested now in seeing, great, they got rid of the seasonal characters. How's that content going to work now? Veterans listen to you guys. Now you got to give them time to shift. Sarge says they had to. Greed, baby. Isn't it easy to max out your gear in Division? It's easy for the base level to max out your gear, but it's not easy to max out your gear. There's a lot of time that goes into getting the gear that you want to get for the build that you want. There's a lot of time. Like, just to get, like, oh, I updated this gear to, like, maxed out. But then to take the resources to throw into that gun to find the gun that you want to use for your build, that takes a really long time. And this is why people were upset by going, okay, every season I got to do this, but I can't use my guy or my weapons. I have to start over every single time. So, well, interesting. We'll see what happens with that. Let's see what else we got here. This is from July 16th. I don't know if there's more news of this after the fact. Maybe you guys can let me know. Again, I was on vacation. Didn't do anything. Does Xbox tease another Game Pass announcement is coming soon? So we obviously, before I left, we knew about the price increase of Game Pass, right? We talked about that and how they're putting a new standard edition in there, raising the price $2 for each of the things. Now it's like $18 or $20 for Game Pass Ultimate day and date, and how they all change the stuff, right? So This comes from Insider Gamer. Tom Henderson says Xbox teased another Game Pass announcement is coming soon. It says earlier today, which was on July 16th, Xbox revealed a new games coming to Xbox Game Pass. It also teased another update is coming soon. The beginning of the post reads, "Let's get the games and let's stay in touch. I have another update for you soon." While it's not entirely clear on what the hint of the alluding to, it's sneaky suspicion that it's likely to do with Activision Blizzard games making their way to Game Pass, which would warrant a separate announcement. It's earlier this month, Insider Gamer reported that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is set to launch on Game Pass later this month, which was also later collaborated by Windows Central's Jez Corden. In addition, several rumors over the past few weeks have claimed that the older Activision games will start to come to the subscription service later this month, including Crash Bandicoot and the trilogy. If it's anyone's guess when the announcement will be made, but the substantial hint suggests that it's sometime this week. Okay, which I guess is this week that we're in now. Okay. This is, are you looking forward to Activision Blizzard games finally arriving to Xbox Game Pass? Do you think this is what the publisher is trying to tease? Let us know in the comments section down below. I mean, obviously, I think we're all pretty smart to know that when you buy a company for $70 billion, that the catalog of games that they have would benefit you for putting it on the platform that they're trying to push, which is Game Pass, right? I think we're all pretty self-explanatory on what they want to do with that. That could be plausible on what they're doing, right? Could be plausible. The news is that they're closing down another 4 studios. Just kidding. Yeah, I'm not sure what I mean, I could see them announcing. Isn't there something happening in August? Game Fest or what's the one in Europe? Isn't there something happening? Gamescom, right? That's what it is. Gamescom. That happens in August, doesn't it? August 21st, August 25th. Yeah. I mean, they could announce it ahead of time. They could announce something more towards Gamescom. Travis says Ultimate Alliance 4 exclusive to Game Pass. Yeah, then the Tokyo Game Show. Tokyo Game Show is later, though, isn't it? Yeah, that's in September. That's the end of September. We have do we have footage of the thing that you said, Dolphin? Of Suicide Squad? Here, let me look it up. YouTube. Do we have gameplay from an official? Let me see if it's on their actual channel. No, they don't have any gameplay on the official channel yet. I think Sadat's got something. Yeah, Sadat has. Yeah, there's no gameplay though. We got 8 seconds. 8 seconds. All right, here's 8 seconds of the traversal. Okay. Now, I have to say, I think it's cool. And again, no pun intended. I think it's cool the way that it's traversal, right? That you're making the ice. I always said that would be cool to bring a Silver Surfer in and stuff like that, to do exactly what this is doing when we talk about the Marvel game. Now, with this, it is interesting. But I don't know, man. Can gameplay like this bring people back? No. Too little, too late, right? And plus, people don't want to use care and freeze. Okay? People don't want to use care and freeze. Like it's if you had all these characters in from the start and people had choices to play and whatnot, maybe. Yeah, they completely blew it, Kurt. Completely blew it. Take it. Words of truth right there, Water. Why use Karen when I can use Bunny? that is 100% true. Like, let's just break this down now, right? Like, if you're a person that's still playing this game, which is not very many people are playing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, right? Came and went like a fart in the wind. Okay? You smelt it, you were like, oh, and then it's gone. Okay? There's people playing other games now. The First Descendant. People are enjoying that. People are playing Helldivers. People are playing whatever it is. Elden Ring, right? It had its chance to shine. It didn't captivate. And now there's other things. So people move on. And they fucking delayed their own thing. This was supposed to be out already. Supposed to come out on the 11th. It's July 22nd. And we still don't know about it. There's another thing, Broick. I totally forgot, right? Again, I was on vacation. Once Human came out. Right? College football came out. Right? It doesn't even have to be the same type of game. It's just that you had your time to shine. Now we have the beta coming out, the closed beta. Marvel Rivals coming out. Major problem. Oh, then here we are. We're end of July. And now you have August coming in. And then you have people like this. Right? Ubisoft. Star Wars Outlaws is coming out. Okay? Which, the last footage I just saw kind of looks kind of weird. Looks like they downgraded it a bit. Okay? Looks like they downgraded. Looks like they did a Watch Dogs type of thing. Okay? But other games are coming out. Right? Think about this. Suicide Squad came out in February. Right? Was it February? We're in July. Just 4 months ago. 4 months ago, and all of a sudden, we've forgotten about it. We've moved on. That's how fast things move in the gaming industry now. This is not 1985 or 1990 where, like, 10 games come out and then you play it. There's thousands of games coming out per day, per week, whatever. We can look at that in a second. We're gonna read this. Okay. Ubisoft has put more money into marketing Star Wars Outlaws than any other game. Why? Anybody want to take a guess why? Anybody want to take a guess why they put more marketing into Star Wars than anything else? I mean, I don't have an answer. I think I have an answer, but I don't know the like official answer. That's right, Travis. Because Star Wars. That's right. It's got that Disney tax on it. They got to make a lot of money from it. All right, so Ubisoft has put more money into this game than anything else. In a recent financial update, Ubisoft CEO revealed that the firm has put more money and effort into marketing Star Wars Outlaws than any other Ubisoft game ever released. He also stressed that the company expects a strong launch based on the positive community sentiment circulated in the project. However, a recent gameplay video has surfaced online, drew negative feedback based on how unpolished the game looks, and it's hitting the market in just 1 month. Okay. It says marketing equals success, apparently. Okay. What are the factoring in for strong launch for Star Wars Outlaws is that the fact that it's amongst the most awaited games of the industry this year and reflecting a really strong positive community sentiment. Okay. And also the fact that it's also coming out with the biggest marketing campaign ever so far for an Ubisoft game. It'd also be interesting to see if the number of, as some Ubisoft titles as such as 2014's Watch Dogs had a masterful marketing campaign that excluded extensive trailers, CGI, live-action representation, billboard, ad spots, and more. Some estimating it putting a marketing budget for Assassin's Creed titles in the hundreds of millions of dollars. By comparing, I don't feel as though that Star Wars Outlaws has enjoyed the prolific marketing campaign. Ubisoft thinks that a few months will be monumental for business. This is mostly because it's impeding a release of both Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows, but also because it's ongoing energy around live service titles such as Rainbow Six Siege, X-Defiant, which also exceeded expectations, being released in May of 2024. Okay, so here's the thing. I've said this, look, and I do love Star Wars. I do love Star Wars. Okay, but you guys know I went from super hyped about this game to not getting it day one, at least paying $70, not paying $110, not paying $130 or $40. I said that I would get the $18 for that month to try it out, and that would be it. Okay? But they need this game to sell a shit ton. Now, I said to people, never pre-order a game. Don't buy game day one. Don't buy it week one. I said wait for people like myself or somebody else to play it and see it. Okay? And then make your choice if you want to buy it. Okay? But it does look like they're trying to pull something over on us here. Okay, let me bring up the let's see. The newest one 4 days ago, right? This is from IGN, right? This is the one that came out a couple days ago. Is this the one? Again, I've been on vacation, didn't get to do a lot of research. Is this the one? Is this the newest gameplay or is this old gameplay? No, this is not it. Okay, so what's the one? What's the one that came out? Dolphin. There's one before that mission. Okay. The only one that's popping up is the new 10-minute version of gameplay. Hold on. Which is IGN. That is the one. Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's what I thought. That's the only one that's popping up for me, so... All right. Let me shut this off.
Is Star Wars Outlaws. We'll be diving deep into massive entertainment's
Let's
open
listen
world
to this and
adventure
watch
into
this.
a galaxy far, far away throughout July, with new behind-the-scenes looks and features. We've already explored how Massive brought the cinematic spectacle of Star Wars into an open galaxy setting, and now we're thrilled to bring you a full mission of exclusive gameplay. Taking place on the classic desert planet of Tatooine, this expert mission takes Kate on a journey involving a Jawa and a Sarlacc pit as she journeys from the sand to the stars. Enjoy.
All right. Just looking at what I'm looking at here, and again, you guys might be downgraded a little bit. Okay, it does look good. Okay, but it also looks off than what originally we saw. Like, visually it looks good, but it does look downgraded from what we originally saw.
Hey, I heard you could put a turret on my ship. I'm sorry?
She said she'll put.
What? Okay, and I'm not one of these guys to really nitpick on stuff.
I'm sorry?
But something looks off. Something looks off around the hair. Okay, something looks off around the animations. I don't know what it is. Yeah, the textures look off.
She said she'll put a turret anywhere
And I haven't seen this, by the way. This is my first time looking at this.
if you give her a tooth. Forgive the intrusion, but I sensed you needed an interpreter.
Oh,
That's supposed to be... That's not C-3PO, is it?
thanks, but I'm not giving her a tooth.
Altern says, I saw YouTubers stating that this might be console version, like the Xbox Series S version of the game. Why in the hell would they show the S version of this game?
No, not your tooth. A sarlacc tooth. One from its second mouth.
Second mouth. Oh, you won't take credits?
She says if you won't pay for breakfast, you can eat sand for free. A Jawa proverb.
No, I get it. I'll get the tooth. But that turret better be good.
You have a deal? How exciting. You know, this reminds me of my time negotiating with the Trade Federal.
Z says, 30, you will notice a different graphical thing, downgrades in different senses. It's very unbalanced weird.
Hey, ND, you know where I can get a
It just looks, something looks off about it.
Sarlacc. And you need to find its pit. I'd start in the Dune Sea.
What is that?
Like, what's happening there? I think that, okay, I think that's the heat coming off, which would be pretty impressive. Okay, I think it's the heat waves coming off of the back of the jet and making that look the way it does, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. The heat off the jet of the back of the bike, when the camera gets down, it like, you know, gets that little heat wave behind it, which is pretty cool.
Pay sharp K. A pristine Sarlacc tooth is worth a lot on the black market.
You saying I'll have competition?
Dead Sarlaccs get scavenged fast. Anyone else looking for a tooth won't be coming alone.
Are they going to show her hitting a wall? Is it a title? How big is this map? I know people are going to do this. I know people are going to do this. Something, okay, something's off. Again, I'm not one that nitpicks on this, but if you look at when she's walking, her feet are sinking in the sand, which is fine, right? But then you see, like, she's like sort of like sliding. And again, this might be early on, so it might be where it's not cleaned up yet, and this is like early footage. Do you see that movement right there? Do you see that movement right there? Watch. Right here. Watch her slide when she kind of like gets down. It's like the camera like pushes her forward.
It's a dead Sarlacc. Who knows what's crawling around down there?
Yeah, it's almost like the camera is pushing her forward. And here's the thing. on this show, I talk about like people complaining about the grass and like Forza Motorsports, right? I'm not this guy where like things like this would ruin it for me. I still think it looks pretty cool, and I think people would have a lot of blast with this, okay? But there are little artifacts and things that are happening in this gameplay that you're like, what's happening here?
We're going in next. Okay, that's one mouth down. You good, buddy?
Why would you have... It's about to come out in a month. Why would you have early footage? Because they're trying to push it. They're trying to show you. They're trying to get people hyped up about it. That's why they're doing what they're doing. Load screen.
Ugh, it's kind
The textures look terrible on stuff like this. What is happening?
of
Is this a Nintendo Switch version?
leathery.
Kay, the Jawas have arrived at the ship.
Did they bring a turret?
They did. They have yet to confirm that it works.
Okay, well, you keep an eye on that.
I think it's cool that they went inside the thing, right? Like, as a Star Wars fan, I think it's cool. I think it'll be a fun game. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that are happening right now in this video. I'm like, I would wait. I would wait.
I've got to find a way down to the bottom of this pit.
That could be. We don't know what it is, but the pre-orders could be low, Kurt. 100%. Like, look at that right there. Okay, look at when she walks through this. Look at the stalactites. They're literally like JPEGs, and they're like 2D. Look at it. And again, I know I'm nitpicking, and this is not why I buy a game or not, because most people would just walk by it and not even think twice about it. We're looking at this video because of the downgraded look of the actual stuff. Like, look at it. And I do know people did this for Starfield with the trees and stuff like that as well. And I'm not comparing it to that. I'm looking at what they visually showed before and what they're visually showing now right before the game comes out. When we saw footage last year of stuff going on, it looked really good. Now what they're showing, it's very much downgraded video. Why is my question. Look at that. Look at the stalactite. It went from being 3D to... Look, it's a... Something is weird. This is the same people that made Division 2, with layers and layers and layers, and the boards were so stacked with actual garbage and not like trash, like actual trash in Division 2. There's so much detail, and then you look at this and you're like, what happened? Were they rushed? Are they trying to get it out before it's ready? It's got season pass and season stuff. Are they going to fix it down the line? Like, what's happening?
Ugh, so many dead things in this dead thing.
What is happening with the water? Oh no.
Well, that worked.
Okay. I just want to show you something here that I just quickly noticed. She shoots the rocks, okay? And I know this is not a make or break. Again, entertainment purposes, YouTube, I'm showing stuff. She does not interact with these rocks in any way, shape, or form. They walk around it, okay? She walks through the rocks. Watch. She doesn't step over it. She doesn't climb over it. She just walks. The camera pushes up on her, and she literally just walks through the rock. You see? Just walks through the rock. There is something very odd going on here. I think they would have been better off not showing anything before it launches next month. They're like hiding things. Things look... That water physics, man. That looked terrible. And mind you, am I not going to buy this game because the water physics are off? No. I'm not buying this game because of the business model they're doing with the $70, $110, $130 stuff. Okay? Look at what's happening. What is happening? Her arm is like she's in the floor. Okay? Now she's sliding. Her arm is going through the actual stuff. It's not touching the top. It's literally inside the world. Look how bad this is. This is supposed to be next gen. We're talking that this... Is this on? Is this... And I'm asking, is this for old systems as well? Or is this just for PlayStation 5, PC, and Xbox Series SX?
What do you see?
Wasn't Gotham Knights next gen? Technically, no, because they actually had it for last gen, but they canceled it at the very end. Oh, this is not on PC. This is just on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XX? I thought it was for PC as well.
Phew, the tooth.
What is happening with the foot? What is happening with this?
Finally. Sorry, droid. I need this more than you. ND?
Finally. What's your status?
Well, I found a tooth. Now I just need to get out of this pit. Why? You worried about me?
About you? No. Hurry, please.
I don't know what's happening. I went from being extremely excited about this game, not excited about the business model of how they're selling it, to being extremely, like, I don't even know if I'm going to get the $18 for the month.
Here, that's my tooth.
Why aren't they showing the chase scene? Why aren't they showing the chase scene? Oh, God.
Wait.
All right, Nix. Go get him. this for a tooth.
What was that? What just happened there? What is happening, chat? In 7 minutes and 15 seconds, they successfully made me not want to get the game.
All this for a tooth.
I don't know what I'm looking at right now. Is this fan made? Is this AI made?
Tooth.
What is happening right now? Boy. You know what? I think I'll just wait till they update it and make the fixes. I think I'll just wait.
They're headed for us. Oh, got the tooth. I should get out of here.
Okay. I just want to point out something. I know people don't play games like this, and most people wouldn't have noticed this. Okay. I just want to show you that this right here, this thing right here, is the bullet that she just shot out of the gun. Right there, it is. Boom, right there. It moves towards, right? Moves towards the bad guy. If you notice, the explosion has already happened. The explosion's already happened before the ball has hit the ground. The ball just hit the ground there. Okay? The explosion was already happening before the ball even touched the ground. Okay, here's the thing. I think they were rushed with this game. I think what they first showed us, when they first showed it last year, I think they showed us their internal builds and stuff like that, and very, very polished of what they were worked on. But now they're showing us other things that, after the fact, it's out in a month from now. Okay? Remember that this thing got pushed back because supposedly it was supposed to come out last year, but then it was this year. And it looks like they got rushed. And it looks like they're trying to push it out because they need to make their money back on this thing. I'm going to give it the 30 and still gaming wait tag. Okay? Again, do not buy this day one. It might be a great game. It might be a fun game. If you are going to get it, do not purchase it for the $70. Do not buy it for the $110. Do not buy it for the $130. If you want to play it, please, for the love of God, spend $18 for the 1 month, play the game, and cancel. Okay? Your subscription after that. Okay? This game will get updates and fixes because this is going to be based off of this. There's going to be some updates to fix the game that's broke when it's out.
Thank you. Thank me. Come on.
I have a question. Who is she shooting at up there?
You think you can take me? Come on. We're going loud. Oh!
The gun has an auto lock system. The gun has an auto lock system on it.
Kay, the Jawas are getting impatient.
How can you tell?
They're trying to disassemble me.
Okay. I'm headed back to their boss now, all right? Just, try to stay in one piece. Here. Straight from the, second mouth. That's good, right?
Oh, yes. I love watching the wheels of commerce in motion.
Ah, Criff. It's hot, Nix.
New ability unlock. Laser turret repairs Trailblazer's turbo blaster turret, giving the ship a powerful weapon. And it works exactly like I said last year when we looked at it and we broke it down, how you'll take control after a certain period. That is an actual load screen.
Turret is active, Kay.
But those shots even hitting?
Is active, Kay.
Yeah, okay, they're hitting.
We'll have more exclusive looks at...
I don't know, man. It looks I'll tell you what. If that was the first video that we watched ever of Star Wars Outlaws, I would have run for the hills. But because they showed other things, I think the game will have some substance to it. But again, because the business model the way it is, because it is a $70, because it's $110, because it's $130, and they really want you to get that $18, that's what you should do, right? You get Ubisoft Plus for 1 month. You pay $18, and the same day you cancel your Ubisoft Plus for $18 so you don't get screwed over at the end, okay? You buy it, you cancel it, you play that game for as much as you like and have fun with it, but there's some red alert going on of the footage that we just watched. The Beyonder says this is one of those games that where you're mainly walking and talking to NPCs. Look, I like games like that. I'm okay with the Red Dead Redemption, the God of Wars, where you go here, talk to a person, get quests, stuff like that. I know a lot of people don't like games like that. I'm okay with that. But there's fundamentally something wrong with what we just watched, and they should be appalled that they showed stuff like that right before that game's coming out next month. Like, it doesn't look good. Dustin says, I might do the $18 Ubisoft Plus and skip the Outlaws. There's just something... There's a lot of problems with what they just showed in that footage. Papa says, which one, Akuda? Got the Watchdog treatment. I'll get this on sale and play it. I'll be on sale pretty quickly. I agree. I think it'll be on sale pretty quickly. Look, I think it will sell well, too. I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of people that haven't had the wool pull over their eyes yet. And I think it will sell well. But there's major problems with that game. And again, I don't know, but they look like they were rushed, and now they're putting it out there, and it looks bad. That video looked bad. oh, Vandal, 100%, right? 100%. They don't want load screens, but there's still load screens there. You know what I mean? I'm not a person that nitpicks on stuff, okay? But fundamentally, when you look at that footage that we just watched, there's something majorly wrong. I mean, you saw things like, whoa, what is happening? Those water animations, whoo. And again, that's not a make or break. Like, I'm not buying a game because of water animations. That's one problem of many that I saw during that whole thing. It's definitely not. This is the problem. This is the problem with season pass games. This is the problem when something comes out, right? They Ubisoft, their own words, is they want live service games. They want to keep you coming back. Rush the game, put it out, don't finish it, keep you in the long run. Get that extra $110, $130. Go on, Titan. Kyle says, why does that little creature sound like a minion? I don't know. El Dente says that long scene before they went to space at the end is a fucking load screen. Yes. Yes. And the funny part is, I would have to find the video that I talked about it, but this video here, where you like, look, here's the load screen, right? So the load screen starts. Let's back it up for a second, right? The load screen starts right. Come on. Okay. So the load screen starts at 9:26. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Boom. You can take control. 26, 27-second load screen. Okay. Now, again, you go play Starfield. It's less than 8 seconds. 8 seconds. Get in your ship. You get put in the thing. It goes black. It does a little title thing. You're in the thing. What people would like to do with what No Man's Sky does. Okay. That's 26 seconds of a load screen. You can't do anything, right? And I had a video talking about when you get up there, right? You're not going to be able to control any of this until it unlocks. And we broke the video that they first showed over a year ago. We talked about that. Okay? You're doing nothing here until right here. Boom. That Tatooine orbit pops up. You get control of your ship. Right? And again, this is not a make or break the game for me. I'm just pointing these things out. Definite downgrade. They should not have shown this 10-minute footage. This just hurt them for me. I can't speak for others. But this 10-minute video just unsold me on Star Wars Outlaws on day one through the $18 because I was not going to purchase this. At the moment, the game isn't worth $50, let alone 130. They'll probably release that 30 gigs day one patch. If they fix it day one, cool. But there's major problems in that thing. No Man's Sky has 45 seconds to go to different systems sometimes. East Vandal says, but Starfield had bad load times. These folks that crapped on Starfield is disingenuous griefers. Yeah. This would be a good Spaceballs game. I prefer this way more than seamless loading. Sure, Titan. Right? I get it, but people, like what Vandal said, right? People don't want load screens, but you're still sitting there for almost 30 seconds. Where I can load up Starfield right now and go from one mission to a next, and there might be a lot of load screens, but they're less than 8 seconds. I to unsell a Star Wars game to Star Wars fan in less than 10 minutes. Seriously. Oh, there's always a day one patch, Sarge. Always a day one patch. I don't think the day one patch fixes that stuff. I think you're going to have massive problems with this game. Even though the content creators that I watched a couple weeks ago, when they went and played the certain mission and whatnot, but they weren't allowed to capture footage, I think there's a reason. I think there's a reason. Something just doesn't feel right. Kurt, I love Star Wars. Star Wars film and television, they've shit on over and over. And I said, the only place that I like playing Star Wars now is the video games. And I was very excited for Outlaws. Last year when they showed it, I was like, dude, that looks phenomenal. Looks great. But the more they show of it, the more they unsell me on that game. Nate said, oh, well, I already pre-ordered. It's like pulling teeth trying to get refunds. I think 95% of us are Star Wars fans in chat, and we're literally like, what the fuck was this? Starfield, you can fast travel from one planet to another in one load screen. Folks complain about how many, too many load screens are doing it to themselves. Yeah, I don't get it. El Dente says, I love Star Wars, and I'm out of it. The best Star Wars game right now is Starfield. The best Star Wars game right now is Starfield. It just looks like a standard Ubisoft with the new IP. They care about their own IPs than new IPs. Titan says, to quote Star Wars, you guys have a bad feeling about this. Nice one. 2 points for Titan for the Star Wars quote. I have a bad feeling about this. Risky, thank you much for the 18-month support, continued support. Appreciate that very much. Welcome back. Hope the vacation was fun. Go to the beginning of this stream, Risky, and I go into a nice long story about what happened on my vacation. But the vacation itself was good. Thank you. Water Bear says, what is worse, 30? The feeling changing crystals Disney inserted into one lore, or this? I'm going to go with the lore thing. The lore thing is still worse. Well, it says, I'll just replay KOTOR 1 and 2 again. It's probably a smart move, El Dente. Not true. The best Star Wars game right now is called Jedi Survivor. No, Starfield's the best Star Wars game. If you want to live your best Star Wars experience, Starfield right now with all the mods. Best Star Wars. Man. I can't believe that. Here's the here's another video of No Man's Sky. Let me go with No Man's Sky here. Get this a little loud. Let's see this new video that came out for No Man's Sky for yet another update.
Introducing No Man's Sky version 5.0. A complete refresh of the universe. With new technology, new
They made a lot of changes to that flora. Again, this is not going to get me to come back to play No Man's Sky, but I mean, what are we at? 8 years now? 7 years? Right? 7 years?
Flora and fauna, and new gameplay.
Hold up now. Hold on now.
Gameplay.
Okay, we got a snapshot there. Okay, we got rain going on. Okay, another snapshot. Okay, that's a new creature on the board.
Planet variety is far beyond what was possible before.
What the hell's happening up there? Is that a rainbow coming out of the sky up there? Into the cloud? What is that? Oh, no, those are rings of the planet. I see. It's the rings of the planet. Wait, this is part 1.
Oceans have waves, reflections, and more variety.
They put waves in there now?
Planets have wind patterns.
Planets have wind patterns. Waves have dynamic and react to weather.
Waves are dynamic and react to weather. On the surface of the planet, there are new volumetrics and atmospherics. New cloud tech allows detailed clouds and weather conditions.
See, the difference between No Man's Sky and Starfield and Star Wars and all these other ones is that you have complete control. There is no load screen when you're going through the clouds. It is a load screen, right? It is a load screen, but I can fly up into the space and I can come back right down. I can go sideways and upways and leftways. I can be like a Wonkavator, okay? I can do what I want in that transition between the ground and space, but it is a load screen. And the tech that they have is absolutely amazing for a small group as Hello Games.
In storms, waves, wind, and clouds interact for incredible immersion.
Look at the water. The water is actually, they actually have that. They actually have like the waves moving with the wind.
Creatures are out there to discover. With a combat-focused expedition.
A big boss or something? That sounds cool.
Our journey continues.
No Man's Sky. That's part 1. What's part 2? Did they come out with part 2 yet? I'm amazed that it's absolutely nutty what No Man's Sky and what Hello Games are doing. Is this their official? No, that's 7 months ago. That's a deep dive 5 days ago. 5 days ago.
With every update, we just want to surprise. New worlds. New gameplay. New technology. We're 8 years in now, and
It is 8 years. 8 years.
still just want to do really big things. Our next update is called Worlds Part 1. I'm so proud of the team and the love they're pouring into it. We are completely refreshing the universe with new technology, new flora, new fauna, and
Now, Obviously, it's 8 years later. This was his vision day one, and they couldn't do it. We were sold a bill of goods originally on what their vision was, not what it is today.
And new gameplay. In No Man's Sky, what you see on screen is generated by the computer. And we're achieving a level of variety that just wasn't possible before.
Now think about that, what he just said, right? It's all made by computer, and what was generated now wasn't plausible before. 8 years ago, exponentially, technology has gotten better and better, and now they can do stuff they couldn't do before.
When we started No Man's Sky, I wanted people to feel like they had stepped into the cover of a science fiction novel. Had to create a lot of new technology. New water technology can create waves and reflect.
That's cool. Now look at the waves. Now, obviously, I'm comparing a game that's 8 years old and the technology they had. Well, look at what these waves are doing, or what Sea of Thieves has done with water, okay, or any other game that's had water where it's actually has interaction with. And then look at the video we just saw with Star Wars Outlaws. Now, obviously, it doesn't take place in a puddle, but the puddle that she was stepping in, you're like, what is going on there?
Oceans look so different to what we had before. Ocean planets feel completely new, and ships can now land on water. 6 months ago, we announced Light No Fire. It's this crazy, ambitious game, and we've been working on it for years, and we've learned so many things, and it feels like we're almost bringing this technology back from the future. Planets have wind patterns, waves are dynamic, and they react to the weather.
Real quick, Z says 30. You have one new hire to make. Is it someone from Ubisoft, Bethesda, or Hello Games? I guess that question would be on what type of game I'm making. But just shoot from the hip real fast, I would say Hello Games, because that person's probably more passionate than the people that work at Ubisoft or Bethesda, right? Because they're a small independent company where the other two are not. And he says, it's always good to see when a game creator has a strong vision. I'm surprised that this game is still hanging on and gaining new fans. Every time they make an update, they sell way more copies. They're very successful, and much more successful than most games come out today. Look at that.
My favorite thing in the game might...
Now, obviously, that looks like crap right when the wave comes in, like right here. But they're showing you what the physics are.
My favorite thing in the game might just be flying through the clouds and out into space.
Yeah, those clouds look fantastic now. And this is not what the game is based on, right? This is just more to get you, like, to just be in that world, in that realm, to feel more realistic, the more stuff, the fantasy of being, right? It goes the opposite way, too. We just watched the Star Wars Outlaws trailer. There's stuff that's so bad that it takes you out of the moment, takes you out of the game, okay?
Clouds for us are a unique challenge, right? You can see them from space, you can fly through them, you can land on a planet and look up at the sky.
To be fair, the water not touching him, that was more of a, just to show you the graphics of the thing. When you get in the water and you get out of the water in the actual game, water like drips off you and stuff like that.
You get these beautiful skies now with just tons of variety. Sometimes a storm hits and, the waves rise, the clouds gather. You've got the atmospherics, the wind, all this technology comes together all at once, and there's nothing like it. On the surface of the planet, we've added these new volumetrics. And you get rolling fog, rain, blizzards, little sparks coming up from the lava. it changes how planets feel, you know? It just makes them feel alive. Across these new biomes, we've added new creatures for you to discover. We're really trying to push on the level of variety. It's not enough for us to just do more, you know? We want to create things that people haven't seen before. Expeditions have become a huge part of how folks play the game. And this new one is very sort of Starship Troopers inspired. It's something really different.
See that, Ron? Are you listening? Like Starship Troopers, right? They've added bugs where you can blow them up like Helldivers.
It takes you on a tour of some of these cool new planets that we've added. Everyone is battling together, progress is community driven, and the rewards are super cool. Something I love is to browse the screenshots that people share with us. I can't wait for people to explore this universe we've made with fresh eyes. The update is called Worlds Part 1 because I guess there's much more to come.
And I love the way that they market this game now. He tweets out something. He tweets out like an emoji, and then all of a sudden something follows, and everyone's like, "What's happening?" And then the news media and stuff starts to show what's happening. They release a video. They've done a very, very good job. As someone said it earlier, I think it was Kurt, right? Like the comeback story of Hello Games and No Man's Sky is second to none. Okay? The biggest comeback. Now, obviously, Sarge says that Fortnite's the biggest comeback because they had a game they worked on for 7-8 years and flipped it on a dime with the Battle Royale, and it turned into this thing. But what No Man's Sky has done, okay, everyone always says, can they have a No Man's Sky moment? Fucking No Man's Sky wasn't supposed to have a No Man's Sky moment, right? And what Sarge says now, he says, look at Sean talks about things, is passionate about, right? It's a world of difference. When he got pushed to do what they said, because Sony had the rights the first 2 years, they pushed it out as fast as they can. They fucked their company up, Halo Games. Okay, they had a lot of problems in the start, but they kept and striving for better, and they did it. Now, again, I'm against. I want a game day one. You paid for this game day one. You had to wait 8 years for the game to become better and better and better and better and better. Okay, just let it cook. Let it cook. Okay, obviously, hindsight's 2020. We look back at it now. But No Man's Sky is a much better game now than it was when it launched. Okay, a much better game. And every time they come out with an update, they get people that come back all the time to buy it for the first time or play it or buy it for a second time on VR or whatnot. Crazy. Crazy. So, more from No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky. You're talking about the Space Marines 2. I looked at the footage, but I do not want to base the game off leaked footage because I don't know when that build was, right? So, unlike Star Wars Outlaws, who put out something that they 8ok'd to put out for people to see, and it looks like crap, I don't like looking at leaked footage and then judging a game based on someone that we don't know when the build was. Twisted Logic says expeditions are the best thing in the game. I haven't done an expedition in so long. I know they took it out for a while, and then they put it back. Maybe I'll go back and play that. Seems like fun. The problem with No Man's Sky is it's daunting to go back after you stop playing. That's the problem with No Man's Sky. If you're playing it, you're having a blast. If you're a person that put it down and try to get back into it, that's a problem. Did you hear that the Concord beta was so bad, people are canceling their pre-orders? I didn't hear that. I know it. Didn't they have a test? What was it last? Was it last weekend? Not this past weekend, but the weekend before. Did they have a beta? How was it? Did any of you guys play it? I was on vacation, so again, I wasn't really paying attention. I gave you my opinion on it based on what it looked like, and I said it looks like crap because it just looks like Destiny. It just looks like Destiny. I was like, it didn't look very good when we saw it over the summer when they announced it. I was like, okay, cool. Just another game to come out, and they were charging $40, which I said that needs to be a free-to-play game. Logic says I never really had an issue, as I love doing a fresh playthrough. Oh no. My problem, Logic, is that there's so much. Like, if you're playing a different game, whatever game that is, to try to go back to No Man's Sky, it's hard because of all the time you got to put in. It's very daunting for people that are just trying to, like, a person that didn't play it is like, oh, you know what? I hear a lot of good things about No Man's Sky. They try it and they're like, I don't know if I have time for this because it's there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that game that it's not just a pick up quick game. You know what I mean? If you've played it before, you know what it is. But if you're an outsider trying to come in for the first time, it's very daunting. El Dente says, Jason says Concord is DOA. Titan said closed beta, now it's open. El Dente says Concord looked trash. Played Throne and Liberty beta, and it was really fucking good. Oh, is that? Can I still try that? Can I still try the Throne and Liberty? This is why I won't start over with No Man's Sky. Yeah, it's just very daunting. There's a lot of games like that. There's a lot of games like that when you try to get in. Travis, I'm telling you, man, I wouldn't buy it at all. At least day one. I wouldn't pre-order it. Nothing happens, my friend. If you don't get the game day one and just wait a week, I guarantee you that'll go on sale. I guarantee you, man. Something will happen. There's so many games to play, you don't need to purchase that game day one. No Man's Sky needs better tutorials and in-game guides. And I'm not trying to, Travis, I'm not trying to persuade you, right? Like, none of us like the game, so you shouldn't like the game. No, I'm being dead serious. You, of all people, play a shit ton of games, right? You play as many games as, like, Mo plays, okay? Mo plays a lot of games because they're on Game Pass, right? When you're paying $70 for a game, 100, 110, 130, like, you just need to wait, like, literally one day to see what the temperature is, because no one's going to ruin it for you. Like, you're going to like what you like, but man, if a game company can sell you a game that's not complete, why would they fix it? Why would they fix it? They're not all Hello Games, okay? They're not all Hello Games. Mind you, No Man's Sky wasn't full price when it came out either. It was $40. Sarge says, you only have so much time, bro. How many games do you think you to juggle? Stay interested, right? Eclipse says, I think you can. I'm not sure, though. It already reminds me of Black Desert Online. I really don't want to replay a game like that. Oh, is it like Black Desert? I thought it was a single-player game. Can I just hit a button and let it play by itself like Black Desert Online? But that's the thing, though. If you're not even playing it day one, then why pre-order? If you can't even play it day one or day two or day three, why even pre-order it? No one's taking it from you. It'll be there. Sarge says, if they're all like Hello Games, it would be a golden age of gaming again. Kurt says, enjoy what you enjoy, but there is a game out there for everyone. My thing is enjoy what you want to enjoy, Kurt, but I'm also saying if you wait day one, it's not ruining your enjoyment. It's saving you money and showing them, okay, that they can't release a game that's broke, buggy, and unfinished. That's the only way the message will get out to the developers. Because if they truly care about their game, you'll get a Hello Games. You'll get people that put their faces back down, work on that game to make that game the best it could be, and then put it out there for you to buy. That's just it, Twisted, right? I'm not trying to tell people not to buy a game. I'm just telling people don't pre-order and just wait, and then you can purchase the game. It's like, you'll save a ton of money, okay? And you'll still be able to get to play the game. I'm glad I waited for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. They only had to pay $30 for it and not full price. Right. I beg people, right? Like, think about this. Think about this, right? As a content creator, and people that give me like $2 super chat, or they do a membership and whatnot, I take that money and put it right back. So if people are interested in a game that I'm like, I won't play games I'm not interested in, right? I'll play the game day one. I'll show you. I'll give you my honest opinion, okay? I don't review games, right? We talk about it because we're nerds. We're geeks. We like video games, right? I'll play a game. I'll look at it. We'll have a conversation about it. And then you go buy or play whatever you want, right? There's so many people out there that can show you what a game is before it comes out that you don't have to spend your hard-earned money paying $70 and then waiting for a week or 2 weeks or a month for a patch or a fix or something else to bring the game back up to where it should have been at day one, right? If you don't pre-order, then they get nervous. They're like, well, we didn't get enough sales. Then they put it on sale, okay? And when they put it on sale, then you purchase it. And they're like, okay. Then the people that buy it on sale get it for a cheaper price. And then the people after fact, it goes back up to full price, and then they buy it because now the word of mouth is out there, right? They will not fix the game if people buy it and pre-order the game. Look at Cyberpunk. Look at Battlefield, right? Look at all these other games that came out that were broke, buggy, and unfinished. People paid $125, $150. Broke, buggy, unfinished. It has nothing to do with you having fun with the game. It has everything to do with the company selling you a bill of goods that's not good. Yeah, Suicide Squad was free on Prime. That Outlaws that we watch, man, it looks like they rushed it. We're just talking in general, Jones, like we always do. We just looked at the Hello Games stuff, and we're talking about the Star Wars, how people shouldn't, like, I'm unsold. I have no interest in Star Wars Outlaws after looking at that last 10-minute video for first play, okay? And people that are pre-order, they're like, I don't know if Travis talking about standard edition instead. I said, don't get it at all. Just wait a day, 2 days. Like, pre-ordering a game does nothing. You're not even going to play it day one. You got so many other games you're playing. Marky Mark says, if you're game sharing, it's a little different. My buddy is buying Outlaws. Been trying to change his mind on it. You shouldn't buy it. I'll stand by that, Marky Mark. No one should buy Outlaws. You should give Ubisoft $18 to try it out for that month. Get it for 1 month. Cancel the same day that you get the $18 month plan. Okay? Beat it in the time frame that you have, and then put it down. Or don't get it at all and wait for reviews and stuff to come out and show it. Nothing will change unless we stop buying stuff that's broke, buggy, and unfinished. Right, Jones. That's why I say get it and cancel the same day. Get Ubisoft Plus and cancel Ubisoft Plus the same day. You have it for the 30 days or whatever it is. and then you have the game. You can get the game, play the game, beat the game, put the game down, and move on with your life. And you just saved yourself $60 or $50. What a bummer. What a bummer. Travis says 30. I can't give an exact proof. Still researching, but what I'm reading says that it was an early build, and they got to play it on IGN. Would explain its rough look. Okay, if that's the case, Travis, if that's the case, why in the world, if you, the company, would you put out something that looks shittier than you've put out before? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. Why would you show something that's in worse shape than you showed before? To me, that means you're hiding something. Exactly. Someone had to edit all those scenes together and saw the issues, unless they just clueless. Right? And there was cuts there in that footage. $1,000%, Jason. Jason says what you saw in that video is what you will get day one. It's not giving Ubisoft the benefit of the doubt. I stand by you. Exactly right. Everyone's like, oh, it's the beta. It's early access. It's this. No, that is what you're getting. You are getting that game day one. And if you don't care, cool. Cool. But don't defend it. Okay? If you like it, cool. But if I give criticism to it, you don't get to defend it, because that is a broken, buggy, unfinished game that they showed. You're allowed to huff copium and have fun with the game. I don't think he's going to downgrade. I'll be honest, Jones. I don't think he's downgrading. He went from that to up. He might go down, but the problem is still in the pudding. He's not going to play it day one. He said it. He doesn't have time to play it day one. So then why pre-order it? No one's going to steal it from you. They got plenty of copies. You're going to play it day one. Didn't you say up above that you're not playing it day one? Oh, you are. I'm going to play it day one. Okay. Because up here it says the only thing that happens is that I can't play it day one like I want, but I'm going to get it, but I'm leaning standard. Perfect example. Another Ubisoft game, right? It's another Ubisoft game. Pandora. What happened to that game? It was on sale 2 weeks after it came out. Has anyone heard anything? They have DLC coming out for that game. When does the DLC come out? When does the DLC come out for it? Already out? Rowick with the membership. Thank you very much. No, there was no microtransactions when I got Starship Troopers. I haven't been back, so I don't think it has. It was just purchase early access, play the game. There was no microtransactions when I first played it. I don't know if there is now. I would have to look it up. As he says, has the Star Wars fans, I want to see and play this game ASAP. As a gamer, I definitely can't wait. Travis says, I love Pandora. Can't wait for the DLC. It should be out next week, I think. Skull and Bones, still struggling. I came across one of my podcasts. I was looking up something from 2019. And I was talking about Skull and Bones. I was like, man, that game's going to be a mess. And here we are, 2024, when it came out. And boy, was I not wrong. Game's doing great, Sarge. Here. I mean, everyone in the world's playing it, I think. Let's see. Frontiers of Pandora came out in December. Isn't there rumors that game's coming out for Game Pass soon? I'm trying to look at the roadmap here. It's got a season pass. Okay. It's been 6 months. Where is it? Story pack number 1, the Skybreaker. Coming summer of 2024. People already paid for it, right? People bought the higher end edition because they got the Ultimate Edition back in December, right? Or you got the Gold Edition, which is the Season Pass, and you paid them up front for that chunk of content, and you've now waited 6 months, and you don't know what it is. And you don't know what the content is. You don't know how long it's going to be. Meanwhile, the DLC can come out. I can see what it is. I can wait to see how long it is. Right? And then if I think Avatar is a good game, I can purchase Avatar for cheaper than you paid for. And when I say you, I mean just in general people. Okay, paid for it in December. Okay, and have to wait 6 months. Now I waited 6 months, but now I get it for a third of the price, and I get the DLC. And I can see what it is. So great, I saw it for $10. More realistic Sea of Thieves would have been played the hell out of that. Nah, it's still, fundamentally, it's a broken game. Doesn't matter if it's Sea of Thieves more realistic or not. If they made the game like Sea of Thieves with more realistic graphics, it still wouldn't have done well, because the way it was made. They said another 20 hours? Great. People could say a lot of different things. I want to see what it is. Marky Mark wants to know, anyone playing Warframe? I know it's an older game, but seeing that they're still adding stuff to the game and updating it is amazing, I think. New DLCL coming out. Warframe is a great game right now. It's been a great game. A lot of people gave Warframe crap because of what Destiny, right? Warframe came out before Destiny. Destiny was more mainstream. Warframe has a lot of stuff. Now, a lot of people give it shit because it's free to play, and there's a lot of microtransactions and stuff. But the game itself is a really good game. Huge, like, learning curve. Like, especially the early days. It was like hitting a brick wall and then scaling the wall to figure it out. They've done a better job with Warframe, but Warframe's fantastic game for what you get for free. But we talked about free-to-play games. Free-to-play games have to be good. Free games have to be good. Hence why the First Ascendant is getting great reviews. Well, not great reviews because I think IGN gave it a 5, but is being talked about because it's a good game and it's free. Travis says, I mean, Starfield said 70 hours. Some people played 12. Some people played 120. Mileage may vary on all games. And one thing I say for Starfield is that people love it. It does have a lot to offer. But Travis, you understand that you didn't have to pay Starfield full price to play the game, right? That's the difference. Right? The game is sold, but everyone can try that game out for the small fee of $18 at the time, $20 or 15 or 10 at the time. Now they changed Game Pass. But there's a low entrance rate. Dolphin says, 30, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 coming to Game Pass in July 26th. Just saw on Reddit. Oh, nice. Kurt says, I tried it once, Marky. I liked it. Just didn't keep up with it. It just don't have that kind of time to sync. And that goes with any game, Kurt, right? This talk about No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is the same type of thing, right? No Man's Sky is like, I just don't have enough time to go back to play Fallout 76, to do the First Descendant, to go play Diablo, to go play... Like, there's so many games that take so much of your time. Charles Hawk with the $4.99 super chat says, I need a minimum of 2 hours for No Man's Sky session. I enjoy Concord Beta. I'm going to pick it up. Nice. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. Or $4.99 super chat. I don't like the business model for most of these free-to-play games. Travis says, I mean, I don't like Game Pass. Even the PlayStation did something. I'd rather pay the game. I think Concord, is going to have its level of players, but I don't think it's going to be very successful. There's just too many games coming out that are in that genre, right? That are just in that genre. Those games live or die on the player base. If the player base is not there, then that game dies. Doesn't matter if it's multiverses, doesn't matter if it's Marvel Rivals, doesn't matter if it's X Defiant, doesn't matter if it's Concord, doesn't matter if it's pick a battle royale game. It'll find its main core audience, but I just don't think there's going to be enough people there that are going to sustain Concord for 2-3 years. Kurt says, I'm really enjoying RoboQuest with my daughter's son. Good pick, 30. Great game. Great game. It's a nice first-person rogue roguelite type of thing. Fun game. And you can play co-op. Too many games, and people needlessly shitting on it. I think, obviously, you know me, Jones. I looked at what we got, and I only based it off of what they showed us at the event. I went, it doesn't look that good. It just looks like Destiny. But with characters. I don't care that it's woke or anything like that. I'm just looking at what the pudding is, and I went, there's just too many games. I don't think it can survive. Hell, I don't even think Marvel Rivals can survive long unless they put more characters in, which we talked about as well. Right? I think it's a good game. I think it'll be more popular than other games, but that game lives or dies on the amount of people they put in that game. Marvel Rivals, that is, not Concord. Concord, I think, is just I'm kind of bored, let's play it type of thing, but something else will pick them up, and people will start playing that game instead. Z says, anyone else trying to out the roguelike Gunhead is a blast. I've been addicted to the First Descendant. Got my first Ultimate character without buying anything. I gotta do that. I would like to do that. I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to go to get it. But I did read an article that someone played the game for 200 hours and unlocked every character in the game for free by just grinding. That, to me, that's a win. Okay, for free players, that's a win. But at the same time, if that person's having such a blast, then they can purchase something if they want to. Correct. Concord's $40. And I said when it came out, I was like, if it's $40, it's dead. They have to make it free to play. But if they make it free to play, then there's going to be cosmetics and they have to charge it. Marvel Rivals, we'll see what happens with the price of the characters and stuff. What they sell. Characters should be free, cosmetics and stuff, obviously. But they should be adding as many characters as possible to Marvel Rivals. It's 19, they should double it. It should be like 40 characters in that game. And then add more characters as they go. What's Exodus? Lead writer. And the reason he created a character is getting worse is because they are focusing too much on writing it for everyone instead of doing. Curious what you think of the Exodus lead writer. What's Exodus? The time I played First Ascent, I have about 60 hours. I have 5 characters unlocked right now. Oh, for sure, Sarge. Right? It's a PlayStation game. They want the money up front. X is a new game being done by Mass Effect 1 and 2 team. Hold on. I'll post a video 30. Didn't they say they're adding 20? So I want to say 39 characters, right? Are they adding 20 right away or over the next year? Or 2 years, whatever it is. If they said it this week while I was gone or something in clips, I don't know. Someone... They put the Cybertruck inside of Fortnite. Oh, that's the game that they showed at the award thing. Yeah. With Matthew McConaughey. It looks good, but we know nothing about it. You know what I mean? I know nothing about it. It's just a trailer. Know nothing about it. So until I know more about it, I don't have an opinion on it. The $40 might be PlayStation standard for live service. First Helldivers, now Concord. But Helldivers is different. Helldivers is a PvE game. This is a PvP game. Concord is straight up PvP. You're competing against other PvP games that are charging nothing. Kurt says, Concord looks like it could be fun. I think the market is tapped out. I just don't see them making it. I think it will have its base. I just don't think it'll have enough base to make it withstand. We're all over the place, Eclipse. No. We're talking... First Ascent, we're talking about Marvel Rivals, we're all over the place. No, I was talking about Marvel Rivals, about 40 characters is what I was talking about. And my question to you, Eclipse, was did they mention something that at launch or down the road? I was talking about Marvel Rivals as far as the 40 characters. I'm not sure when it comes out, Dolphin, but I do know the beta is this week, next week, something like that. closed beta, by the way. Started to use to pay for games, and they started to free to play. Now back to charging for game. I actually kind of like the people that are coming out with free to play games that are microtransaction and everything. I like that model better than the play full price and then microtransactions. Then, you know what I mean? But I obviously like make a game, sell a game. You know, charge me $50, $60, whatever the game is, and then that's it. And then you want DLC, you put the DLC, and I'll purchase that if I'm interested in it. Well, I think it's late. Like someone data mined like 20 characters or something. I want to say that they confirm as a leak was right. Well, I just hope that at launch, whenever the game comes out, they have about 40 characters. I think I made a video about that a couple months ago. Let me see. I think it was an upload I did. It was an upload I did. Where was it? I think it was this one. I did this 3 months ago. Yeah, has it been that long? Jesus. I don't even know what I did here. Let's see what I said. The next story I want to talk about is Marvel Rivals is missing characters is a serious head scratcher. Now, we talked about this when they showed up the video last week, right? And I said, you know, I don't care that, you know, Penny Parker's in there, and I don't care that Magic's in there, like, or lesser known characters are in there. I'm always wondering, though, like, I was like, why isn't Wolverine there? Why isn't someone else there? And someone could be like, well, they're always there. But they're not. They're never there. Like, those characters never make it to the actual game until later on by the time the game, like, dies. This game, to me, lives or dies just like any other Marvel game, okay? Any other, I should say, comic book game, by as many heroes or villains that you can either have, use, or fight. This article comes from Game Rant, and it says, Marvel Rivals missing characters are a serious head-scratcher. It says, Marvel Rivals is arriving on the scene. Is this the leak that you're talking about when we talked about this? They showed a leak, and I believe in this article, they show... Yeah, they show, like, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, Wasp, and whatnot. And then they also showed more, if I'm not mistaken... with Wolverine. Yeah, Green Goblin, Venom Mysterio, and Hela. And then there was more. Yeah, Wolverine, Deadpool, Moon Knight, Daredevil, Winter Soldier, Captain Marvel, all that. I talk about it in this video from 3 months ago, basically what they should do with the game. Anything else I think is short and is like 40 minimum. And then on top of that, add more characters. But at launch, 40. But it's going to be hard to balance. It's going to be hard to balance. Let me see what you guys... Oh. By the way, did you see that the lead writer of Vanguard said that exactly what you said, word for word? She said that people complaining are those closed-minded, queer-phobic bigots. Word for word. Yeah, well, there you go. Baldur's Gate 3 had over 100,000 players this weekend on Steam. That's making a game right there. Concorde is the name of a ship, or Concordia is the name of a ship that crashed and sank in 2012. Coincidence? The name of the game, Concorde? I think not. That's good, Water. Yeah, I said in that video as well, Kurt, that they should make a PvE. If they make the same mistakes as Overwatch, then they will fail. Marvels alone can't just carry it. We've seen that with other Marvel games, right? The Marvel name can't carry it itself. It has to have something that people are interested in. And people like playing Marvel games because they're interested in the characters. And they're interested in the characters because they're interested in the stories. They're interested in the stories because they like the character. If you're just playing a PvP game, PvP, okay, with no backstory or anything like that, that's fun because you get to use the characters. Oh, I'm Hulk, I'm Iron Man, I'm Wolverine, whatever. And you're fun, right? But it's just Overwatch at the end of the day. Third person Overwatch, and you're buying stuff for skins. If they put a PvE, don't make the same mistakes as Overwatch. Overwatch was supposed to have PvE, but then they took it away. In my opinion, it's stupid. But that's what they want. That's what they chose, and Overwatch will go down into what it's doing. Okay, Marvel Rivals comes out 5 years later than Overwatch, and yet if they make the same mistakes as Overwatch, they deserve it. You can't come out with the same type of game and make the exact same mistakes and then go, I don't understand why I didn't make it. Marvel's gonna do it. Right? Until it doesn't. Until it doesn't. Robert Jones says, counterpoint, Marvel vs. Capcom was a huge hit. No PvP and barely story. You're talking about a game in a different world, Jones, back when it came out, right? By that, okay, I know what you meant about PvP, right? By that accord, okay, why isn't every game just a side scroller like Mario was back in 1984? You see what I'm saying? You have to adapt and move. And if you're making the same game that Overwatch was, but just with Marvel, it'll be successful for a short term, but it will not be successful in the long term if they make the exact same mistakes that Overwatch did. There are so many positive names on things of history. Why do they keep picking names with negative connotations? The way that they name things, every game out should be called Titanic. Does someone just compare a fighting game with a hero shooter? Yeah, Jason, it's a completely different game. Completely different landscape of game of the time of gaming. I don't know if that's true though, Travis. I know negative gets more interaction faster, but I think positivity also does sell. Right? Baldur's Gate 3. Right? Baldur's Gate 3 is a good game. And it sold well. You will sell more stuff. Sell more stuff if you have something positive than negative. Negative gets interactions. Negatives don't sell. In a world of social media, negatives pay the bills because they get more engagement. But in video games, negative gets you less sales. You want positive to make more sales. So to go tell someone to not buy my game or not buy my book or don't watch my movie or something, that's suicide for someone trying to sell something. Negativity doesn't sell stuff in that form. Negativity gets engagement of social media, which then pays the bills for those people. Travis says, I think positive sells, but not at the level negative does. Just look at it, find out deadly item that you can kill on tonight at 7. Some people tune in. That's not selling, though. It's in selling engagement. You understand the difference between a product and... Right? The product for news is to get people worried and stirred up. A product on Twitter is negativity so people click on the article. When you're selling an actual product, would you buy this mug if the handle was broken and had a hole in it and didn't hold any liquid? This is a shitty mug, right? Stupid piece of shit, shitty mug. You think people are going to buy it? No, they'll be like, this is the best goddamn mug made ever. It holds liquid. It's titanium. You can smash it over someone's head. They're like, I'm going to buy that because it's positive. Because it's a product that you're selling, right? Nobody wants to buy a negative product. Negative meaning it's faulty, it's broke, it's buggy. You will make more sales if you talk good about something. than you would if you talked negative about that thing. Overwatch didn't fail for lacking PvE. They failed for lying. I would say they lied. They failed for both reasons, Jones. Overwatch, when it first came out, was supposed to be a free-to-play game. Then they charged $40. Then they charged $60. Then they didn't put in what they were supposed to put in. Then they said they were going to have PvE, which they never did in. Then they made Overwatch 2, right? And then it just escalated more and more. If Marvel Rivals does the exact same thing as Overwatch, not changing a thing, no, not adding PvE, not adding more characters, just the same amount of characters over. If it's 40 characters over the next 3 years, fail. Fail, especially with the Marvel brand. In my opinion, of course. But I've never been right about any of this before, so. Speaking of lies, where's my League of Legends fighting game? They canceled that? Weren't they supposed to do something like that and they canceled it? Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy the amount of companies out there that are just confused by the way things work. As I heard, it's still in development. I could have sworn. Hold on. Project L is a Riot's upcoming team-based fighting game, League of Legends Champion. That was on February 2024 last time. Yeah, they're still working on it, so it's not canceled. I know they canceled something recently, though. Nope, there was an article other week canceled for now. There was, right? Like 2 weeks ago, wasn't there? Like, not canceled, but it was like pushed back indefinitely or something. Let me see here. No, I don't see any article. What are the news stories? All right. Esports Illustrated. Never seen that article from them before. Let me not hurt your eyes. A report: Riot Games canceled a Super Smash style fighter. Is this the same though? I don't know if this is the same. The hype continues to build on TXKO. It appears that League of Legends fans could have had another fighting game. Yeah, he looks forward to. According to the report, this is a separate game, Dolphin. This is a separate game. Yeah, that's a different game other than TXKO that they canceled. This is why we read stuff. The article I sent you was from yesterday. All right, give me a second. League of Legends fighting game TKXO reveals the skin. Okay, Riot Games revealed that the League of Legends fighting game officially revealed earlier this year, is upcoming 2v2 tag-based fighting game. 2v2. It could be fun because it's different than everything else, right? Interesting. Featuring characters from League of Legends franchise. Just like other fighting games, the characters have been different fighting styles and functions and complement each other in the original League of Legends abilities. For example, Riot Games managed to adapt the assassin's role of League of Legends into an effective combat style. She can also use her orb, a deception, and charm abilities to deal burst damage to her foes. See, this could be interesting. This could be interesting. Is this gameplay?
Ooh, are we hurting each other for sport?
Is this game? Is gameplay for it? I like the art style. Here's the thing. Maybe we've gone full circle. I don't know. I used to play a shit ton of these games. Shit ton of those types of games. I'm personally not interested. One of my favorite games of all time is Capcom versus Marvel. Okay? Loved it. Okay? 1, 2, loved it. I'm not... Now, it's interesting to see about 2v2 type of stuff, like a tag match type of thing. Could be interesting. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if the people that like League of Legends move from that to this. Right? Yeah, could be great. Could be great, Travis. Maybe it's a comeback. Maybe those fighting games are making a comeback, right? Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, they're still big. They're not great, right? They still have a core base, 3 million, 5 million people. Okay? So it could be interesting. Could be interesting. All right. It's that time. It's 1 o'clock. Went a little longer today because my first day back. We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll play a game. I don't know what we're playing. We might play the First Ascendant. We might play Fallout 76's story. We'll play something. Join me tonight as we play through video games, have a chat and talk while I'm playing. Appreciate it very much. We'll be back tomorrow. We're back to our normal schedule. Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. We'll have these morning shows as we always have. We'll do that every day of the week. Don't forget, we also do a podcast on Thursday nights called Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Thank you very much for the people that gave super chats this morning. Also, memberships and gifted memberships. Appreciate it very much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.